Good morning, and thank you for joining us today on The Insight. Today, we'll take a critical look at the state of the nation. A nation facing complex challenges such as security concerns, economic hurdles, and political dynamics that shape our collective future. As we discuss these pressing issues, it is vital to consider both the setbacks and the possibilities for progress that lie ahead for all citizens. And this morning, helping us do justice to these issues on the state of the nation is Dr. Maxwell Ngene. Dr. Maxwell Ngene is a political communication and broadcast journalism expert. He is currently a senior lecturer at the Department of Mass Communication, ASUT. Doc, it's a pleasure to have you on The Insight finally.
Thank you for having me.
So without wasting time, I just want us to get straight to it. We've been itching to hear your views on the state of the nation, and lucky we'll have you this morning.
I'm surprised it's my own view that really matters to this station.
All right. Let's look at politics and governance. And I want to ask, how would you assess the current political landscape in Nigeria, especially with the weakened opposition, factionalization in the PDP, and recent shifts towards the ruling APC?
Thank you. The question is deep because it is multifaceted. However, I must say that Nigeria is at a crossroad. Things are not the way we had envisioned it. Things are not the way we have dreamt it. The state of the Nigerian nation is nothing really to write home about. Because when you look at it from the political angle, you begin to ask yourself, how come that those who currently hold power are fighting tooth and nail, not just to improve the well-being of Nigerians, but to hold on to power? How come those who ordinarily would have served as potent opposition members or opposition parties are defecting from the likes of the PDP to the APC? Is it because the APC as a party is doing well? Is it because APC had succeeded in reducing security challenges? The answer is no. Is it because APC has been able to employ youths, ensure food security? The answer is no. You need to ask yourself, why are these people defective, for instance? So when you ask me about the political arena, it is hazy. It is not something you can put your finger to and say this is where we are heading. Because to start with, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is president of Nigeria, made so many promises that he has been unable to fulfill. Because we remember vividly how people like him spearheaded the effort at removing President Goodluck Jonathan between 2013 2014 that finally brought late Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. Most of the things they were saying was wrong had become worse today. Today, each day we wake up, we hear about banditry, kidnapping, insurgency. Either schoolgirls have been kidnapped in one particular part of northern Nigeria, or that killings have happened in churches in one part of the southwest, or that in the southeast there is separatist agitation leading to kidnapping for ransom, loss of lives, etc. So when we are talking about Nigeria, the state of Nigeria as of November 2025, it's a bleak picture we are getting. The picture is not good, and even from what we are seeing from the diplomatic arena, talking about the threat from President Trump of the United States of America that had designated Nigeria a country of particular concern. So it's not time for Nigerians to talk about, say, Uhuru, but those problems we find ourselves in are herculean, but they are surmountable. It depends on the political will and the ability of those who are superintending and supervising Nigeria to now decide that we need to do the right things. We need to listen to public opinion. Because the problem over the years is that those who are in leadership positions do not reckon with the lead. And power comes from the people. When you do not listen to people, even if you're a father or a mother, you need to listen to the kids. You need to listen to your students. You need to listen to people. Our leaders are not good listeners. And that's the problem. They treat citizens, those that voted for them, as mere objects rather than as human beings. And this is the problem. And the problem is that they appear not to know that public opinion is like a powerful tide. When it comes, it sweeps people from where they think they are and throws them into a position where they can rarely rear their heads again.
All right. Now that we're speaking about it, we're talking about politics and governance. I know you mentioned it in passing, but I want to ask directly your opinion and what you would advise to strengthen the democratic governance and citizenship engagement, given that there's a lot of concern about democratic backsliding and public distrust in Nigeria.
Yes, there's trust deficit. There's trust deficit. It's just like if we are friends and you keep doing good things for Maxwell and I do not reciprocate. Anytime people who are friends begin to suspect one another, anytime there's mutual distrust, anytime there's suspicion, there's antagonism, things don't go well. That's the way I liken to our situation in Nigeria. So now that you're saying this, what do we do? A lot.
Okay.
The citizens have a lot of role to play. They are apathetic. They do not understand that power belongs to the people. Our people, if you look at the statistics coming out from the recently, voter registration update that is being done, Enugu, for instance, the southeast, had been very poor in terms of numerical strength, in terms of those who are aware of the essence of such an exercise. To that extent, because politics is a game of number. If you do not register when you're supposed to register, which will now make you eligible to vote for somebody and be voted for, it means that those who are pretending over us over the years and who have not been able to make us better than we are will continue to be in positions of power, and that is not good. Again, Nigerians must shun politicians who come with bags of rice and salt and pepper. Those things are nothing, because when they give you some of those narrow things, small things, when you vote them in, they begin to steal, and you won't have any moral justification to tell them not to steal, because they will tell you they need to recoup. After all, when they were coming, you were asking them for envelope. You were asking them to give you this and that. We need to strengthen our institutions in our country. We need to begin to emphasize that institutions are bigger than people. We should not make strong men that have no good heart, strong men that are just there to engage in monumental thievery, in stealing, in fleecing society. We should be thinking of those who will add value, those who will come and begin to build industries, that begin to put infrastructure on ground, that begin to do things that will lead to employability, things that will lead to better lifestyle for our youths, things that could lead to stability of society, things that could lead to significant reduction in insecurity. These are the kind of leaders we need. So when we are talking about the state of the nation, Nigeria had never had it so bad. He never had it so bad.
Never had it so bad.
Yes, he has never.
Because
when I come to school, I ask students, how many of you have not eaten today? There'll be a lot of hands going up. And I begin to imagine, because I now know that for people to eat something good enough, they're paying up to 4,000 in a meal, 3,000 this and that. And what do people earn? Even people who work here, what do they earn at the end of the month? And you can still see that those who are working here are about the most motivated people in terms of their desire to change society. in terms of the love for the work they do. But in Nigeria, what do they tell us about our youths, about our graduates? That they are not employable. And I say no to that because I know, having taught for many years, many decades now, I do know that Nigerian students are not what they say they are. They're employable. If they're not employable, what are the secondary schools and the universities doing? Why not close them down? They're employable. It's just that those who should employ them do not believe in the fairness doctrine. They do not believe in objectivity. They employ those who have Abraham as father. They do all manner of things. They don't understand their sense of federal character. You will only be employed if you have Abraham as father, or if you come from some of those places that feel they are superior to other members of the Nigerian society.
All right, Doc. Let me suspend on what I wanted to ask next. But now that we're here, you mentioned students. When you ask students, they say they've not eaten.
Yes.
They are not fasting.
They are not fasting.
It's by compulsion.
But I do know that if I can pay 4,000 naira plus to eat food that will not even mean that I'm okay, haven't ate it, I begin to wonder where a student who comes from Enugu to Esut, a student who comes from Enugu to University of Nigeria and Nsukka, or even IMT, or anywhere, can get such a money to eat just one meal.
One meal.
But you can remember that when some of us were in school, we could use 20 naira to eat a good meal. And if you look at 20 naira to 4,000, only God knows, maybe it's about 7,000% increase. And this is sad.
And Doc, with that now, this is me asking, what's your assessment of the economy? Bearing in mind that we were told that over 54% of Nigerians, over 54% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. But with the picture you've painted, I'm thinking is way beyond the 54%.
It's true now, because most times Nigerians reel out statistics that are not verifiable. They are not verifiable, and statistics could be misleading. You see, it's way above that.
It's way above that.
By far.
Doc, sorry. Government told us recently that there's been 15% reduction on inflation, and that food commodities in the markets are beginning to drop down. In fact, recently someone told me that the penta of Gare that was before now are above 2,000 naira is currently around 900 in the market. So you're saying that...
But where is the money? Where is the purchasing power?
Okay.
Where is the purchasing power?
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem. And again, I told you earlier in this program that there's trust deficit.
Yes.
Meaning that those that are being led do not believe in those who are leading them. And it is a very huge problem. It is a huge problem because immediately Tinubu took power and was sworn in, he quickly removed fuel subsidy, meaning that Nigerians had to pay over 800% of what they used to buy fuel. And we still do that today. And for him, he didn't consult anybody. It was as if he made up his mind. And if he had made up his mind, Nigerian citizens were thinking that there must be a way to cushion the harsh effects of such policy reversal. But even as we are speaking, we are being told, we are being told that at NNPC, so and so trillions of naira, in dollars even, have been stolen, cannot be accounted for. You see the trust deficit. Nigerians are not sure of what is going on because Nigerians began to do what Tinubu told them in the hope that these monies will be saved and used to develop society, create jobs, healthcare, transportation system, etc. But when you begin to hear rumors, sentiments being expressed that these monies are nowhere to be seen and stuff, you naturally should be worried.
All right.
You naturally should be worried. And we have seen situations, even under Buhari, when boxes of dollars, Dutch mark, pounds, were seen in a house in Ikoyi, Lagos. Where is the money today? Where are they? Where are they? And when you see people who took power by force, people who shouted, Emiloko, Emiloko, it's my turn, it's my turn. And later when they began to superintend over the country, they appear unprepared to hold the positions they are holding. And there are talks of strike by ASU. There are suspensions of strike that have begun. There are so many problems everywhere. Nigerians are not talking to themselves because these people do not listen to public opinion.
Okay.
There's problem. And it's not as if anybody is happy, given that Nigeria is a country blessed with a plethora of natural resources, human resources, some of the best brains in anywhere in the world. Because anywhere you go, you must see Nigerians, professors, academic doctors, ordinary Nigerians, who, if they can't bring intellect, can bring the physical strength to do one or two things to make society to run smoothly. Yet, back home, we have nothing to show for it. And it's sad.
Sad indeed, but Doc, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but I have to ask, do we blame the federal when we were being told, for example, that with the removal of subsidy, they've made more money available to the subnationals?
It's not about making more money. Tell us in empirical terms what we make every month as a result of the removal. Why are some of these things shrouded in secrecy? Why is it that in our budgeting, we put monies in envelopes? If you want, your wife is going to market to buy things that she needs to use to cook soup, you will see her say meat, fish, egusi, ogo, and she will begin to put the amount of money she expects to expend trying to buy those things. It becomes clear to you that she's going to spend so and so amount of money. In Nigeria, these people had not been forthcoming with the truth. Even for us to know the take home of the president of Nigeria, it's not in public domain. Even for us to know the earnings of a member of the National Assembly, it's not in the public domain. I saw Ojo Zokalo recently on social media telling Nigerians that he earns about 30 million every month. Why? Why? How much do people like us earn? I have a PhD, which is a terminal degree in my area of discipline, which is mass communication. How much do I earn? Do I earn up to 300,000 naira in a suit? People that some clowns somewhere who may not have been voted based on popularity or credibility earn 30 million in a month. Little wonder most young Nigerians are on the streets with no hope in sight, no jobs, nothing. That's why you were talking about federal or state. That's why we need to begin to thank God for some of the things currently happening in Enugu State, for instance, where it does appear to me that yes, Enugu people, some of them are shouting, there's tax problem, tax problem. These are things that need to be resolved through dialogue and negotiation with Governor Mba. But from what I'm seeing in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of trying to improve on the roads, in terms of releasing promotions for 2025 for public servants, something good is happening in Enugu, and a lot of other people should borrow a leaf so that lives of our people, because one of the saddest things is that parents spend money, spend time training their children. Even children that have done well in school are not employed just because they are from poor homes, or that their parents are living in poverty, or because of who they are, their ethnic groups, or in terms of where they come from. Because even with what happened recently, you are talking about Nigeria, state of Nigeria. You know what is happening, what happened within Nnamdi Kanu, for instance, where the Southeasterners were thinking that he could be pardoned, that there should be a political resolution regarding the problem that had him roped in, but that for peace and tranquility, for a more stable society, that he should be pardoned, given also the fact that criminals who are bandits, terrorizing, killing, maiming, raping, now meet with some federal government officials. Even now, from what we are hearing, we are seeing pictures and we are seeing people who are boldly saying that even President Tinubu had an understanding with the terrorists and so on and so forth. It's on the public domain.
All right, Doc.
You know,
I'm
coming. So you see, the way things are, it's not the way it should be. It's not the way it should be. Anytime you have children that you don't treat fairly, you treat some as if you are not the very father of those children, they will revolt. They will feel bad. They will feel not respected. They will feel that they are treated as if they are leprous. And that is why in the Southeast, the separatist agitations continue. I had expected, for instance, that before even the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu, for example, that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being a sophisticated political tactician that he is normally credited with, should be able to say, I've heard the cry of the brothers, this should never happen again. I am here to change things. I want to treat everybody fairly. I want to bring a level playing ground where if you're a Yoruba, you're a Fulani, Kanuri, Ishang, Kokoedo, Igbo, everybody is the same. Injury to one person should be injury to all. But he never did. Everything is as if there's a script that people are acting out. So those things do not help. And given the natural instinct of the Igbo man, the way we go about trying to change society for the better, when our inputs appear not to be sought for or wanted, it makes us feel bad. And I do know that if the current leadership addresses some of these problems plaguing society, particularly as it relates to not integrating the Igbos properly, in terms of not making them feel wanted, that it's not in the best interest of Nigeria, because the Igbos have a lot to offer.
All right. You know, I was going to build to that, but now that we're interrogating the situation, and I do not hold forth for Mr. President, some have argued, especially the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Igbo man, Ben Kalum, equally has argued that perhaps this is the time for the president to now engage. That as a president, that the right thing to do was for him to allow the legal process be.
The legal process didn't. The legal process didn't tell Nnamdi Kanu the crime that he was facing. The crime, the laws that had to do with the crime for which he has been convicted. I heard Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a globally respected Igbo woman, raising fundamental questions regarding that, because you can't convict people based on unexisting laws.
Yeah, but this is the time we'll give the president a chance for a political solution.
It is our hope. I believe that what you're trying to do now is just trying to hypothesize, trying to make a conjecture, an educated guesswork that the president should seize this opportunity, and we hope he does.
Like the deputy speaker did say.
The deputy speaker is a mic. That his deputy speaker may not mean that his voice holds weight in the minds of those that we live with as Nigerians, because the way the Igbos have been treated, to say the least, is very, very. It's not been edifying.
Granted, Doc. But what we're saying, is it not time we'll give benefit of that to this Mr. President?
That's what we are doing. Are we fighting?
Good.
Aren't we happy that after the conviction, the Southeast has remained calm? It should be applauded. It encourages me that we have learned from some of our past mistakes. because we need to begin to think of better strategies. We need to believe in our governors. Our governors need to speak to themselves. There's need for them to synergize. There's a need for a sync between them so that they can speak with one voice. We need to, because we need to also think of the thinking or the perception of the young Igbos coming, because it does appear that it is the all Igbos that have been, sent to prison.
All right, Doc, on that note, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue to probe on the state of the nation.
Thank you very much.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us. Thank you for staying with us on The Insights. And we've been discussing with Dr. Maswell Ngene, a senior lecturer at ASUT, and he is equally a public communication and journalism expert. Doc, let's get back to these issues. Let's look at the security challenge. Recently, Nigeria has been designated as a country of particular concern by the government of United States led by Donald Trump. He alludes to the killing, genocide going on in Nigeria.
Christian genocide.
Christian genocide in Nigeria. But there's been a lot of arguments that Nigerians are being killed. Christians, Muslims. Some have argued that they are not targeted attack on Christians, rather a targeted attack on Nigerians. Let's get your perspective on this.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful to God that in our lifetime, the President of America, as currently is, President Donald J. Trump, designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern because of the lack of religious freedom, because of the massacre of people who are Christians in some cases, because of their belief. There are instances, so many. Those who go to preach in the morning lose their lives. Those who even discuss Islam are killed. Bandits, terrorists of Islamic nomenclature visit churches. We know what happened recently in Kwara State. We know what happened in Abuja. We know what happened to the university girl that was killed the other time. The examples are a litany. So my perspective is that I thank God. It is even shocking and disgraceful when those who should speak the truth begin to tell lies that there is nothing like Christian genocide. In Nigeria, some tribes believe they are more superior than others. In Nigeria, it does appear that we have two laws. One is for Christians, the other one is Sharia. That is not the way sane societies develop. That's not the way sane societies should behave. That's the problem. That is why there are some Nigerians, no matter what you pay them to go and live in northern states, will never do that, because life is a primary value. In those areas, predominantly in the north, where life appear no longer to make meaning, no matter what you're paid, you will say no. Because the Bible says that a living dog is better than a dead lion. So when you talk about insecurity, I've seen a Gumi who appeared to be an Islamic scholar with so much guts, telling government from time to time over the years never to confront terrorists, to put them in their budgetary allocation. Only God knows what had happened when Buhari was there. Whether such an advice was heeded, and so on and so forth. To start with, how come we found ourselves in this mess? From my own knowledge, those who are today terrorizing Nigeria, killing Nigerians, where irrespective of how old you are, how educated you are, how rich you are, anybody can be a victim. They came because Buhari threatened that if he doesn't become president, there will be problem, and that if he contests election and doesn't win, the dogs and baboons will wallow in their blood. Who were the dogs and baboons? What does the Quran even say? They look at people who belong to other religious bodies as infidels. And there are certain consequential provisions on you if you find yourself at the wrong place or if you're perceived wrongly. They can pronounce anything for you and it's done. So now that President Trump is talking about the need to stop this bloodletting, the need to stop this killing, this barbarism, it's only fair that we acknowledge it and thank him. Because even, you know that nobody has more intelligence than the United States people. They have the technology, they have the resources, and there was a congressional hearing about it recently. Whether they will come is a question of time. I know they will come. And it's important that we call a spade a spade. If it is good when you stay in front of the bitter leaf and tell the bitter leaf that you're bitter. If we don't, this may be a time that God has made to stop these things, because Nigeria is a multi-ethnic nation, multilingual, multi-religious. We need to respect each other's perspectives. We need to respect each other's background. We need to respect each other's religion. You don't force people to belong to your own religion. And as a result, if they are not, you see them as infidels, those who are not fit to live.
All right, Doc. Still on the same issue, a lot of persons have argued that the United States coming to Nigeria will be to advance their own economic interests.
What is wrong in advancing it?
Not to the benefit of
What is wrong in advancing it? What have you benefited from the Nigerian economy yourself? Is it not self-help? What have you been? Listen, sorry. These are arguments.
Do you support the United States government putting boots on ground in Nigeria?
Why not? I've seen where they've done things and things change for the better. We know the history of. There are Muslims that are very kind people, very good people. It is, you know, when the Bible says that when one bad finger gets oil, it touches all. You understand? It's not as if Islam as a religion is bad. It's good. But there are people who are radicals, even in Igbo land. There are people who move one way. Before you could bring them back, they keep destroying things. What is America? If our place is the way it is, it should be, what will America be coming to do? Why? Is it not America that is closing Guantanamo Bay and some of those places that they house prisoners and dangerous people feeding them, trying to save their own resources? It is because the Christians in Nigeria are perceived by the Americans as human beings with life that should be respected. Because life is a primary value. No one person should take the life of the other, except if that person is convicted by law.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That is the essence of it.
You're quite clear, Doc. But this time around, I want to ask, given all that we're experiencing, rather than the United States government putting boots on ground, is it not time we start reconsidering the issue of state police and community policing?
Americans have not told you. You see, the problem with our problem is not that we don't have policies. We are good in enunciating policies, but how do we execute policies? That's the problem. You're seeing only bringing boots on the ground. What is fantastic in Nigeria that will make American soldiers to want to stay here after cleaning up the place and making sure that those who, because we have been told that the terrorists are not Nigerians. So what is the problem in allowing Americans to come and remove them, since our own military cannot remove them? Do you know the budgetary allocation that is annually earmarked for security in Nigeria? As if Nigeria is at war with another country. Let's speak truth to power. Americans will not just come and bring boots. They may offer us training. They may offer us strategy. They can't do it alone. They need to work with our own military, our own armed forces. Our own armed forces can learn one or two. They can help us with technology. That can help us to ensure that we never go back to this kind of scenario. Any well-meaning Nigerian should be able to say, let these people come and do away with extremists.
All right.
When environment is peaceful, development will thrive.
All right. Doc, let's move on. I see that this issue of insecurity in Nigeria is getting almost everybody agitated.
Yes.
But let's look at other
It's affecting
issues.
economy. That's why agriculture, those who are into farming are no longer going to farms. Do you know what people go through when there is when their wives are kidnapped? Do you know what they get through? Is that bad? Is that bad? Are we having? Okay. So that's the problem we have, but we must continue to beg God in the hope. Everybody who is talking about America coming, those who believe in it, majority of them are Christians, because naturally the Bible tells us that we should not kill. We should not kill.
Yes.
Christians hate letting blood. So we want any. Do you know what it means when churches are now getting their own internal security? People carrying guns in the church because they're afraid that some people could just come in and begin to kill people in the church, and it is happening. You see a priest from Benue crying, showing you burial fields, showing you caskets. You're hearing testimonials from participant observers, those that witnessed this, those that have lost their husbands. Do you know the poor morale Nigerian army wives have when they lose their husbands and nobody to pay school fees for their children? Children are not given scholarship because it's not the way it should.
All right, Doc. Let's move on. Let's get your opinion on the issue of state creation, given the raging debate now about creation of additional 31 new states to join the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The problem of Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, has nothing to do with state creation. What the problem is the refusal of the Nigerian, those in leadership position, to recognize the need for parity, to give the Southeast the additional state they deserve for equality, because most geopolitical zones in Nigeria have 6 states. The Southeast has just 5 states, and you know that the number of states in a geopolitical zone is an indices for sharing wealth, for allocating resources. And remember again that in the early 60s, even before independence, that Nigeria used to be a 3-state structure, a 3 regional structure, where you have the Hausa Fulani, one, the Yorubas, the Agba people, then the Igbos and the Southerners in one place. It means that when you share things, you share it into three. But today, what is happening? What is happening? The entire South has just been boxed into a few states. The Southeasterners have 5 states. And that is why in the House of Reps, we have the smallest number of people. In the Senate, we have the smallest number of people. We can't get anything through voting. We are subjugated. We are like people who are of no relevance. So it's not just about having 31 states. I don't know if you're following. Plus the 136 we have to do this. It's about telling ourselves the truth.
And what is that truth?
The truth is that the Southeast needs one good state, one more state, to make it 6, so that it will be at parity. It will be equal to the number of states. Abuja, which is in North Central, for instance, is it North Central or Northwest now?
Abuja is on Central.
North Central. There is 7 states if you add Abuja FCT to that place. Other Southwest 6, Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Oyo, and etc. We know that. Why is the Igbo state, the South is 5? South is 6. So it's not fair. We're talking about the fairness doctrine. Doing it unto people as you have them do unto you.
Right. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue to probe on this issue.
Please put Dr. Maxwell on the name.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the broad mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter who sorts is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
in-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us. All right, thank you for staying with us. Doc, I want to ask, did you get to hear the speech of the Vice President at the G20 Summit?
Yes, I listened to it.
What's your opinion and analysis of that speech at Johannesburg?
It was just an intellectual thing. Things that were done by those, things that may have been written by speech writers, by his media men. I had expected him to talk on more serious issues.
Such as?
The insecurity problem, talking about the recent designation of Nigeria as a country of particular interest.
Well, Nigeria has been fighting to not bring that to the limelight internationally.
Why? Something that America is talking about. Can you hide it? It's in full public glare. It's the most discussed issue in the last few days. Even as we are talking about it. I mean, it will be idiotic to say that you were trying to hide. Does it help us in terms of public relations? Does it help us in terms of getting sympathy? In the G20, that was a platform, an opportunity for him. After all, Nigeria as a nation over the years had helped other countries that had this kind of problem. There's nothing wrong in saying, please, do you have expertise? What are your suggestions? Look. This is the reason why we don't want Americans to come. This. Look at the effort we are doing. Are there things we are not doing you can suggest to us? He just came there and was talking about what this government is doing. It's not the kind of thing that people like me were expected to see. It looked pedestrian to me.
Okay. All right. Before I let you go, Doc, I will still take you back on the economy. There is a projection of getting Nigeria economy to a 1 trillion economy by 2030. Do you think that's very feasible?
It's a good dream, but the issue is it getting trillion this? If they tell us the truth, we must have gotten that money from the fuel subsidy removal, even as at 2025. But the point is, where is it? Can it be properly accounted for? How do they determine those who... A lot is happening that is making people like us to become demotivated, to make us as if we no longer have, trust, no confidence in government, no confidence in those who are ruling our country.
All right, we'll wrap up with two issues that happened within this month. One you've given a passing comment on, but I want to get your holistic view about the election, off-season election that happened in Anambra. What's your assessment of INEC in that very election?
In Nigeria, you no longer know what to believe. In Nigeria, you no longer know what to believe. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Peter Obi is from Anambra.
Yes.
In that last election, we have been made to understand that not even Abga won in his own booth. Not even PDP that won in his own place. That it is APC. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Gibo Yibo, can you believe it? You can see that INEC is INEC. It's just a change of the name of the person who is now in charge. But for Christ's sake, there's a need for an institution as huge and as critical as INEC to know that the stability of Nigeria, the believability of votes cast and election results is dependent on the way they carry themselves.
All right.
If the leadership of INEC does the job the way it should, Nigerians will applaud.
Okay.
Where they don't, posterity will not forget.
Posterity will not forget. All right. I know you've spoken about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu and his sentencing, but this is where I ask again. Your opinion, not just on the sentencing, but the impact that will have on the legal system of Nigeria.
I'm not a lawyer, even though I have a daughter who is a lawyer. But the point is, today is still early. Today is still early. Nigerians should be grateful that hell was not let loose in the southeast as a result of that. No matter what anybody says, Nnamdi Kanu, as far as I know, is one of the most popular Igbo men, one of the most popular Igbo men living. And it means that what he says carries weight, and he has a lot of followers. He may have behaved in some unruly manner in court, which may be as a result of the frustrations and what he had experienced. This is a man who almost lost his life many years ago. People that gave him bail, we were told, came to kill him, and he ran away for his dear life. It's only the three that will remain when he is told, we'll cut you down. But human being will run. So Nnamdi Kanu may have, through his outbursts, said things he needn't say. But for Christ's sake, when you judge people, do not manufacture laws. Judge them based on laws that are extant, laws that can be found in the books, so that we don't have the wrong precedents. There should be a ratio decidendi. Let me speak like lawyers. If you must sentence, and for people to have confidence in our judiciary, that's of paramount importance. But above all, I want to use this opportunity to beg Mr. President, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, because he's the most powerful politician in Nigeria today. He's the one with power. He's the one that determines who gets what, when and how. If he forgives Nnamdi Kanu by giving him a presidential pardon, that will be a healing balm that will soothe the nerves of majority of Igbo people, that will also help them to now know that indeed wrongs may have been done, but I am the man who is a Daniel that God has brought for judgment.
All right. Very well said, Doc. On that note, we are very grateful for your presence on the Inside today, and to you, our viewers. Remember that your views matters. Let us know what you think about these issues by sending us your views all at Aneke TV on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And we'll be speaking with Dr. Maxwell Ngene, who is a political communication and broadcast journalism expert. He is currently a senior lecturer at the Department of Mass Communication, ASUT. Doctor, it's a pleasure having you on the Inside.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and that's it for today on the Inside. Till we come your way same time tomorrow, I still remain your host, Uche Osai. Bye-bye.